Yay! Number 10. Vertigo. Vertigo is one of the many creatures in Resident Evil 4, and definitely one of the scariest. At first, he seems like your typical generic monster slash bodyguard thing, but once he is finally ordered to exterminate you, his full appearance is grotesque to say the least. But appearance is just half of the story. His behavior will haunt the living hell out of you, running up to you at high speeds and appearing in different unnoticed locations as he or she pleases. Throw that along with some dim lighting and dark rural corners, and you have yourself one hell of a terrifying experience. In at number 9, Moon from Majora's Mask. Now, let me explain before you start asking why. We can all agree that this thing has a creepy face. Now let this sink in. During the entire playthrough, it will be staring at you, your every movement, just smirking at you. Zelda isn't exactly a horror game per se, but with a little bit of overthinking, you may just want to put the controller down and stop playing. I mean, maybe it's just me, but I also felt a little creeped out by the fact that Mario was completely alone in the mansion entrance in Super Mario 64. It felt eerie, but hey, maybe that's just me. Number 8. Berserkers. You had to face this huge beast in Gears of War, and she's a girl, apparently. This monster is also blind, leading her to use her sense of smell and hearing. You'd think that this would be an advantage at first, but it's really difficult not to get pummeled into a pile of flesh. Number 7. Slenderman. Slenderman was originally created in the forums of somethingawful.com, and unfortunately for some, he eventually made his way into video gaming in the form of the indie game Slenderman: The 8 Pages. According to its origins, Slenderman supposedly saves children from tragic deaths by killing them himself. Slenderman is said to stalk you, and once he gets close enough, he will take you to an unknown dimension, a nightmare-like world where he eventually kills you. Number 6. The Gatherers. Making their formal appearance in Amnesia: The Dark Descent, the Gatherers sport a malformed mouth, as well as, well, malformed everything. Even though they are considered grunts, limited defensive options give the player a feeling of pure weakness, making these creatures all the more powerful. They chase you for good lengths of the game. One method of escaping is of course hiding, but even then, you are not safe. Evil Otto. No, it's not scary. It's a simple smiley face, quite innocent looking as a matter of fact. Otto appears in the game Berserk, a frantic space shooter, and apparently the game was very difficult. So having a high score made you a badass, well, in the past. Peter Bukowski tried achieving a high score, but unfortunately died of a heart attack right after. Last thing to see him alive? Otto, smiling at his death. Number 4. Necromorphs. You have to deal with these horrific creatures in the Dead Space franchise, popping up unexpectedly for the occasional jump scare, and if you're not smart enough, killing you in various ways. Number 3. SCP-173. Let's face it, SCP-173 looks like a cannibalistic gingerbread cookie. He's not scary for his looks, but for his ways of killing you and the atmosphere it's in. Apparently, this creature wants you to stare at it for every single second that you're in a room with it. Oh yeah, this game also has a blinking meter, so if you blink just once when you're close to it, he appears right in front of you and snaps your neck. Number 2. Pyramid Head. A classic pick, Pyramid Head isn't only about how horrifying he seems, but the psychological side of things. He also uses symbolism, making things 10 times creepier. The thing that is most intriguing about Pyramid Head is that he feels like a real entity, some sort of evil that feels authentic and downright, well, real. And lastly, number 1, Regenerators. Regenerators are the most horrific, disgusting creatures you can encounter in a video game. A lab experiment gone wrong. The regenerators are tall, fast-breathing, yet quiet monsters that can recuperate any limb they lose. They slowly approach you with a smile, and have a number of attacks such as biting and hitting. Aside from that, they're immortal, kind of. You'd need to acquire a special thermal scope in order to locate their weak spots, but until then, you are completely powerless. They'd also appear at the worst situations, and that is why they get the top pick. Hey, how's it going, guys? I am Single Player. I'd really appreciate it if you would like the video or subscribe or share it. It doesn't really matter, of course, anything helps. And I'd also like to know what your scariest pick for monster. Fuck it. Thanks for watching, of course, and as always, stay single.
Thank you, baby.
If you carry glowing eyes, the weapons they can possess are torches and handheld weapons. If they are unarmed, they resolve to strangling, and if they aren't dealt with, they take a bite from your neck, causing lots of damage. Not much is known as to the origins of these creatures, but there is one theory that they are all patients of the asylum and have been brainwashed by the main antagonist.